at it again, and we have a very interesting one here, to say the least. I mean, my goodness. This is, anyway, we got one here. I don't know if you guys heard, but Tucker Carlson interviewed quite a number of the Republican primary candidates, including Mike Pence, Vivek Ramaswamy, Tim Scott, Ron DeSanctimonious, who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody. But he interviewed a lot of them. And Mike Pence. Yeah, I mean, he was already up Poops Creek without a paddle in sight. So, he didn't really have a shot anyway. But I think after his response to one of Tucker's questions, he put the nail in the coffin. His political career is officially cooked, right? Ron DeSantis buried his career recently. And I think Mike Pence just buried his too. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below, because I guarantee you're going to have some opinions about this one. Let's dive into this madness.
I know you're running for president. You are distressed that the Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse over the past 3 years. Yeah. Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States. And it's visible. Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped. Public filth and disorder and crime have exponentially increased. And yet, your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars, don't have enough tanks. Right. I think it's a fair question to ask, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern.
Where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern.
Ask, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, your ears did not deceive you. He literally just sat on stage and said, that is not my concern. Yeah. Now, some could argue, maybe he was talking about a different question, not his concern, Ukraine not being his concern. Nah, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt on this. I feel like I've given people the benefit of the doubt just a little too much, and I'm not handing it over again this time. Nope. You literally just said, America is not your concern. You are officially done, Mike Pence. I mean, you are already done in the first place. What's Mike Pence polling at? 5%? 5%? Now, this is my first big election that I've really been paying attention to politics, right? Now, we had the midterms, but in terms of main elections, presidential elections, this is the first that I will be, fully alert. I know what's going on. I'm paying attention to what's going on, right? Y'all can let me know. Has anybody ever been in Mike Pence's position and come back to win the primary? Let me know. Let me know. I don't see a path to victory here. I don't see it. Scrolling through social media, I don't see anybody talking about Mike Pence. If anything, it's negative things about Mike Pence, right? Looking at these interviews, they aren't great. This one is horrible. So I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing the path to victory, but y'all let me know in the comment section. Maybe I'm wrong.
Where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern. Anybody that says that we can't be the leader of the free world and solve our problems at home has a pretty small view of the greatest nation on earth. We can do both. And as President of the United States, we will secure our border. We will support our...
Say that again.
...problems at home has a pretty small... Can't be the leader of the free world and solve our problems at home has a pretty small view of the greatest nation on earth. We can do both. And as President of the United States, we will secure our border, we will support our military, we will revive our economy and stand by our values, and we will also lead the world for freedom under my administration. I promise you.
Amen. Vice President Mike Pence, thank you very much.
That sounded to me like he was basically saying, yeah, status quo, you know, whatever, you know, I might sprinkle in a little something for here for the U.S., but we're going to keep dropping them things from the sky overseas, okay? We're going to keep funding that. That ain't going to stop. We're going to keep that machine rolling, okay? Forget about what you're talking about. Which lets you know the disconnect between Mike Pence and the actual voters. Because from what I've been seeing, most people don't want to see what's happen overseas, right? And I'm being careful with my words here because I don't exactly know YouTube's policy on talking about the, you know, Ukraine situation. So why would you... Some of these candidates, I don't like it. It has to be a money grab. I'm convinced for some of these candidates, it's simply a money grab. That's all it is. Mike Pence, it's definitely a money grab. He knows, he sees the polls. He has no shot. And then to say something like that, he definitely knows he has no shot, right? Because he knows the base. When Uncle Trump sat up there and said, and I might drop a short on it, when the CNN town hall, when the lady tried to pressure him into supporting one side or the other, he said, I just want to see I just want people to stop dying. It's not about winning or losing. I want to see people stop dying. And she still tried to pressure him on that as if that was a bad thing. Like, that should be a great thing for someone to say, I want to see people stop dying. That is truth. These are people's brothers, sisters, you know, whomever. Literally, and I've seen some pretty horrible videos, unfortunately, that, yeah, I definitely could never, ever share on YouTube. Some pretty horrible things, you know, drones flying over people's heads and dropping something, and yeah, I'm trying to keep it PG here, okay? But you catch my drift, okay? Yeah, I've seen those clips. It ain't pretty. War is not pretty, as most of you already know, okay? So when Trump says that, that's a great thing, and I feel like most Republican voters agree with that sentiment. We want to see people stop dying, and also our money being spent, okay? That's another thing as well. And then he got on stage and said that. But hey, listen, he's not the only one that, you know, had a couple. He's the worst one that had the biggest stumble. But I think they all had a moment of stumbling. Check it out.
You have to identify where they are. And I'm not going to pretend that will be an easy task. But that should be the responsibility.
Well, wait a second. The federal government's like knows where everyone is because everyone has a smartphone and they're tracking you.
Yes.
You know, so like we know anyone using a fake social security number. Why not just like drop them off in Tijuana? Bye-bye.
Well, I'm going to appoint Tucker Carlson as my bye-bye ambassador to figure this out. So we're going to work together on this. And I look
a
forward to
sincere question. But how is it treatment? I guess that's my question.
Has anyone ever noticed how Tim Scott always tries to get up and like become lively? Has anyone else ever paid attention to that? Am I the only one? Whenever I check out a clip of Tim Scott, he never sits down the whole time. He always has to stand up. And, you know, I don't know. Look, I'm not taking any shots, okay? I'm not taking any shots. This is just my observation. But he always stands up, and it feels like he's trying to get the crowd engaged and, you know, hyped up and riled up. Like, it's this thing that he's trying to do. But I don't know. It just feels unnatural. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Like I said, I'm not taking any shots. This is just me observing whenever I watch Tim Scott. He always stands up. Even in the clip we just saw. What was he doing? Standing up. I think even at the beginning he was sitting down. Let me see.
where they are. And I'm not going to.
Vice President Mike Pence, thank you very much.
We have to identify where they are.
No, the clip started with him standing. But he always stands up whenever he answers like a question.
As my bye-bye ambassador to figure this out. So we're going to work together on this. And I look forward to
a sincere question.
You want to know what caused January 6th? There's such a temptation to say that there's one man whose name is unspeakable. We can't.
No, first of all, it's QAnon. It's QAnon.
It's QAnon. You want to know what caused January 6th? Is pervasive censorship in this country in the lead up to January 6th. You tell people in this country they cannot speak. That is.
Allegedly, of course. I got to say allegedly.
It's when they scream. You tell people they cannot scream.
Yeah.
That is when they tear things down. So that's the lead up of 1 full year of telling people you have to shut up, sit down, and do as you're told. And then you tell them, okay, there's an election where you didn't get the information that you needed, such as the Hunter Biden laptop story being real and suppressed. That's what caused January 6th.
So the tragic loss of life ransacking the Capitol that occurred. But I really do believe that a day of tragedy became a triumph of freedom. And I'll always believe that by God's grace, I did my duty that day under the Constitution of the United States of America and our institutions held. And I think it's absolutely essential that we do everything in our power to restore public confidence in the one person, one vote principle at the heart of this republic.
Why not just get rid of electronic voting machines and call it a day, and then we don't have to debate it? One of the powers that government did usurp over the past several years is the right to decide what medicine you take in the form of COVID mandates. How did you feel about that? And how many COVID shots did you take? And how do you feel about it now, in retrospect?
How many COVID shots did you take?
0.
When you have FBI colluding with big tech to censor dissent, I would fire those people. Had I been president 2020, Anthony Fauci would have been fired, and you've got to be willing to do it.
I'm gonna call BS on that. You know, just saying. There's just something sleazy about Ron DeSantis that's just never sat well with me. And I've said this for a while. From the very beginning, I was saying this. Like, something just doesn't sit right with me. Like, the jury's still out on Ron DeSantis. I mean, I know now, but back then I was saying the jury's still out on Ron DeSantis. I'm not too sure. There was just always something about Ron that, like, my intuition or something was just like, this guy isn't who he says he is. Like, I can't pinpoint it. I can't exactly say why I know this, but I just feel it. I feel it. Something's telling me this guy is a fraud. Something. And then, of course, you know, over time, when you just let people talk and you sit back and watch their actions, eventually they expose themselves. And that's exactly what he's done over time. So that's why, one of the reasons why his poll numbers have been dropping. I mean, woo! Sheesh. I think one of the last things that I heard was that Vivek is almost surpassing Ron DeSantis in the polls now. Which is just hilarious, because at one point, I could have swore Ron DeSantis was in the lead at one point. Or at least tied with Uncle Trump. And now to be falling so far behind. I mean, Trump's up by like 40 on everybody. So, I mean, nobody has a shot. But now to be dropping to third? Sheesh. Talk about failure to launch. That was a complete dud missile. Oh, man. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. How did you feel about Mike Pence saying flat out, that's not my concern? Let me know your thoughts and your opinions about that. I thought that was a pretty wild statement. And it basically sealed the deal, put the nail in the coffin. His political career is over. Finito. It's finished. It's cooked. I mean, my goodness. And honestly, and you guys can help me out with this, because once again, this is my first presidential election that I'm really, really focused on and really, really diving deep into it and really, really paying attention to, like, the primaries and everything else surrounding it, and not just the two candidates themselves, and that's it. Once the primaries are over with, I don't see anybody else beating Donald Trump in the primaries. Now, you guys can let me know. Has there ever been somebody with a 40-point lead in the primaries and they eventually lost, the primary and wasn't the presidential candidate? Let me know. I don't see it happening. I don't. I tell you guys all the time, I monitor social media just so I'm staying on top of, what's actually going on, what people are saying, how people are feeling. I don't just rely on simply the polls or what mainstream media is saying. I actually go to social media where there's real people, and I just sit back and I read. I read people's comments. I find posts that are talking about something political that happened. Hey, here's a post about Donald Trump on a left-wing media page. Let's see what they're talking about here. Oh, okay. Hey, Donald Trump was a real one. Ooh, okay. So, okay. Yep. Good stuff. That's what I do. And I don't see people talking about Tim Scott. I don't see people talking about what's the chick's name? I'm forgetting the chick's name. Nikki Haley. I don't see people talking about her. I don't see people talking about Mike Pence. I see a few people, and it's beginning to be more people talking about Vivek. Obviously, there are some folks that talk about Ron DeSantis, but it's mostly been, hey, Ron, stay as governor of Florida. Trump is the president now. We'll take you in 28. Or, hey, you ruined your shot. You're done. Trump is our president, kind of thing. It's one of those two things that people are saying. It's never, hey, Ron, we like you. And yes, I get it. Those folks are out there somewhere. I just personally don't really see it a whole lot. True Ron DeSantis supporters who want Ron DeSantis to be president over Trump in 24. Rarely ever do I ever come across the comment like that. Yeah, Ron DeSantis 2024. It's very, very rare. I don't even know how he's polling as high as he's polling based on what I've read on social media. I don't get it. Maybe it's just people saying, yeah, if Uncle Trump isn't there, I guess I'll take Ron kind of thing. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But I just don't see anybody else winning. I don't see it. Through social media, through the polls. But once again, I definitely could be wrong. So y'all let me know how y'all feeling in the comment section below. And my goodness. Talk about putting a nail in the coffin, Mike Pence. Good luck. Peace and love, y'all. I'm out.